looking to cement his status as the franchise.
The following match will be decided with one fall, and it is for the West Coast Pro Wrestling World Championship! Introducing first, the challenger, fighting out of London, England, he is the master of the half crab, Michael Oku!
The fans love him.
And his opponent, defending from Sacramento, California, he is your West Coast Pro Wrestling World Champion, the franchise, Titus Alexander!
Titus Alexander, the son of Big Ugly J.D. Bishop, and if you know professional wrestling, especially here on the West Coast, that name carries a lot of weight. He carries and he fights for the honor of his family every time he steps into the ring here.
Scarlett Donovan showing us what it is all about. And I'm very glad you brought up Big Ugly, Brian, saying, because we know that Titus Alexander, very proud, embraces his roots as a professional wrestler, but also in recent years has really tried to strike out, to not just be a family man, to not just be someone's son, but to be his own man. And a successful defense tonight against Michael Oku will go a very long way in proving that.
I'll tell you what, if you've seen Big Ugly in action in his prime, you will know that he and his son wrestle distinctly different styles.
Yes.
I would say Titus wrestles a more well-rounded, traditional style of wrestling, and while Ugly could do that certainly well, he was not afraid to go to the weapons, go to the ugly stick, get bloody, get scarred. Who knows what the future holds for Titus Alexander right now, but his path is looking pretty great.
Lock up in the center of the ring to start us off. Titus Alexander, a little more prone to the high style stylings of professional wrestling. Perhaps need to go to that well against Michael Oku. I would not get down and dirty with the ground game of Michael Oku. He is called the master of the half crab for a reason. This man, a submission specialist.
Absolutely. We got a lot of that in store for you tonight. I mean, like I said, I can't wait. And my boy Timothy Thatcher versus Robert Martyr. That's going to be a great one.
You guys are on nickname level? You and T-Thatch?
Well, I call him that. It's a one-way street.
You call him that to his face?
Yes, tonight I actually did.
Duck there by Titus Alexander.
And he didn't have a problem with it. So it's because he and I go way back, Jordan.
Well, I'll tell you who's having a problem. It is Michael Oku having a problem, or maybe not. As soon as I say it, ducks Titus's chop into a flurry of his own.
Here we go now. Oku with the chops. Look at that. The quickness. Titus Alexander.
Leapfrog there by Alexander. But gets caught into that single leg crab, that half crab by Michael Oku. And you see Titus scrambling for dear life. He knows that if he gets caught in that half crab by Michael Oku, it is bad news.
That could have been the shortest West Coast Pro title match in history had Oku locked that hold in. But look at the quickness of Oku here. This is the man who took Will Ospreay to his limit, Jordan. That makes me think that he's a very, very scary opponent for Titus here tonight.
You know who else took Will Ospreay to his limit? Titus Alexander in West Coast Pro Wrestling. These men so evenly matched in so many ways as Oku sends Alexander outside the ring with a gorgeous springboard dropkick.
I'll tell you what, Titus fell and face planted on those mats. I mean, those don't offer too much protection on this cold, hard ground here at the Globe Theater. And you can see he's got to try and recover. Oku's got something possibly in the chamber.
Michael Oku.
Look out!
Goes for broke, but lands on his feet. Alexander out of the way.
Oh my stars and garters. Did you see how he landed on the back of his head on the apron?
Back of his head, every inch of his back on that apron, the hardest part of the ring canvas. Thank goodness for Amira being there to check on him, but Titus Alexander just beckoning her away.
Well, Amira had better keep her distance and pick her spots wisely. I think all she can really do here is just check on him.
I mean, that's the thing about Alexander. We talked about how maybe he doesn't wrestle as hardcore as his father, but that's where you see those familial roots coming into play. He has an ugly, ugly attitude. He's not afraid to get down and dirty. He's not afraid to bend the rules. He's not afraid
look at that.
to take the jaw-jacking to the people.
Titus Alexander, no squeaky clean individual.
Cover here. Barely a one count.
You want to talk about somebody who is good at trash talking with the fans, look no further than his old man.
But again, this is not battle rap here. This is professional wrestling.
Yep.
Titus Alexander can jaw jack all he wants on Twitter, before the match, after the match. He's in there with one of the very best in the world. I can hardly see why he's wasting time arguing with the fans as he just breaks the back of Michael Oku.
Good Lord, the back has become the target here in this
Cover
matchup.
here.
That big slam on the apron
Once
followed
again.
by a scintillating backbreaker.
Once again,
All right.
Zane, I'm sorry
Whoa.
to interrupt you. The action fast and
Whoa.
furious. And we know these two, Titus Alexander and referee Scarlett Donovan, have a checkered past. Oku into the cover here, looking to roll him up. No.
I thought you were going to say it was a striped past.
I guess into the shirt.
Yeah. Oh!
Titus Alexander with a basement dropkick levels Michael Oku. And again, the same way that he can't be wasting time jaw-jacking with the people, he cannot be wasting time jaw-jacking with the official.
No, that's an absolute, that's a killer. If you lose your focus and you jaw jack with the referee, too much argue over calls, that can easily cost you the match. We've seen it happen time and time again in this business.
I mentioned home of the Killers, West Coast Pro Wrestling's next event, streaming live on IWTV April 7th. Michael Oku will be there against Speedball Mike Bailey. Titus Alexander will be there. Remains to be seen if he will be West Coast Pro Wrestling champion. Also featuring the debut of one Chris Hero.
You mentioned that Oku's got a date with Speedball Mike Bailey coming up. I talked to him before this matchup, and he said if he wins the title tonight, he has no problem defending the West Coast Pro title against Bailey when they have their matchup.
You want to talk about high-flying offense, shades of Speedball Mike Bailey there off that drop kick. And it's very interesting that Michael Oku is not opting to capitalize, to go for a cover here.
Well, I mean, when you had your back wrecked as much as he has, would you be able to capitalize as quickly?
I'm no master of the half crowd. It's not for me to say.
Here comes Titus. Oh,
Titus gets caught.
Goodness. I'll tell you what, the action, you know, the hits hit a little bit differently compared to the last match, but it's no less effective. Oh, did you see how he got planted in that DDT?
Deep cover leg hooked, only a 2.
That was a close one. Almost had a new champion right there.
Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, Brian Zane. The people are loving it. Titus Alexander is not almost frozen in time here off of that DDT from Michael Oku. Oku's got to gather his bearings.
Oh, look at him stomping and putting his pressure on the ankle. The right ankle of Titus as he goes for the left leg.
You got to be thinking he's softening him up for that signature half crab.
Look at this. Pushing him off the ropes.
Oh, and a penalty kick. Just wipes Alexander out.
That baby's good. All right.
And look at Michael Oku. The passion, the fury in his eyes. Such focus from the master of the half crab.
I think he's taking too much time getting ready here. Look out.
Indeed he is, but lands on his feet as Titus rolls out and clotheslines him outside of the ring.
Once again, things getting dangerous in no man's land on the outside. Oku feeling himself here.
I'm not sure if Oku is purposely taking more time to revel in the moment, or if he's just rocked after those big shots from Titus Alexander.
These fans going along with the clapping here.
Michael Oku with the support of the Globe Theater behind him. Will it be enough to capture West Coast Pro Wrestling Championship?
Wait a minute. Oh!
Hold on, Titus Alexander shielding himself behind Amira. But Amira ducking out a dodge at just the right time. That is manager-client fluidity there, Brian Zane.
That was good instincts.
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Michael Oku.
I thought he was a crab. Here he comes now. He's following up, going up top here, Jordan.
It's like Noah's Ark in the Globe Theater.
Whoa!
A standing frog splash here. Will it be enough, new champ? No.
I mean, I'll give credit to Amira being able to avoid the grasp of Titus at the very last second. That was pretty smart.
Well, you want to talk about being in tune. Michael Oku and Amira seemingly communicating telepathically for her to drop down and take advantage of Titus Alexander's cowardice at the exact right moment.
You said it, Jordan. This has been an incredible matchup here. I tell you, Titus, he's got, he's almost a 2-on-1 situation if Amira continues to apply herself the way she's been.
Amira now firing Michael Oku up.
Could be going for the kill here. Oku's got some Evil thoughts in his mind. Look out. No! Right in the mush.
Picture perfect precision off of that drop kick. And now perching Titus Alexander on that top turnbuckle. This is a very dangerous position for both of these men, Zane.
That's right. Oku with an impressive combination of moves. Could be going for the final move right here. Possible Hurricane Rana. Wait a minute. Whoop. Oh, my.
Delayed Frank. No! Titus Alexander caught him.
Wow, that was close.
Titus Alexander caught Michael Oku off of that delayed Frankensteiner, and I believe turned it around in his favor.
That was not pretty, Jordan.
It was not pretty for either man, but it seems like Alexander got the most of it.
The pace of this match has slowed down significantly after the impact of that maneuver. I'll tell you, these guys have to shake it off and see who can strike next.
It seems like Titus Alexander striking first, but Michael Oku not far behind.
These two men have spent the better part of the last 10 minutes just beating each other senseless. They are running on fumes and on instinct here.
Will instinct be enough for Michael Oku to win the championship? Will it be enough for Titus Alexander to retain the championship? Something has to give, Brian Zane. And you got to think, for Titus Alexander, you mentioned a former prestige champion in his own right. How embarrassing would it be for him to lose that West Coast Pro Wrestling Championship outside of West Coast Pro? If Michael Oku keeps this up, that might be exactly the situation we find ourselves in.
I tell you what, I don't think at this point, there's no shame in losing the belt to Michael Oku because he's been bringing it here tonight. No, but Titus, you can't discount the toughness and the tenacity of this kid.
The toughness and the tenacity of Titus is not just alliteration, but he's gonna need that toughness and tenacity to survive that dragon screw leg whip.
The torque on that leg, setting him up for that half crab, of which he is the master.
Again, just slowly wearing him down, minute by minute, hit by hit, hold by hold, all leading up to one thing, leading up to his namesake.
Titus is barely able to stand, put any weight on that leg, but still has the wherewithal.
Still has the wherewithal to take Michael Oku over, but it might be to his detriment as once again the dragon screw leg whip lands, this time on the middle rope. Everything that Titus Alexander has for Michael Oku has an answer.
That's right, and look at the face of Michael Oku. He is a man possessed, a man determined at all costs to walk away with the West Coast Pro Championship.
He is perched on the top rope. He has Titus Alexander in his sights.
Here he comes. Oh, right on the knee. Driving his own knee into the back of Titus's leg. He could have broken his shin.
Yeah, Titus Alexander looks really worse for the wear here, man. And Michael Oku, not an inch of mercy, not an inch of sympathy here for Alexander.
Tell you what, even if Titus wins this thing, how good is a champion with one leg? Oh!
All of his body weight being pulled on that left leg, but manages to reverse it by sending Oku into that bottom turnbuckle, now thinking Chaos Theory.
Oh, look out! No!
Spikes him on his neck!
Right on the tippy top of his head!
This could be it!
No! Whoa. Boy. I have no idea how he kicked out of that one, Jordan.
In the same way that... Brainbuster there! Into the cover!
Is it?
No, it is not. In the same way that Michael Oku has been zeroing in on the leg of Titus Alexander, I think Titus Alexander has decided to zero in on the head of Michael Oku here.
The head and the back are right now Titus's prime targets, and really it's going to come down to who can put on some kind of devastating maneuver the next time.
Every maneuver in this match has been devastating.
I mean, more devastating than the next.
Just upping the ante constantly. You see Titus very ginger, very cautious on that leg.
That's right. Now what's this? He's going to go for the half crab?
No.
Now you can't put the half crab on the master of the half crab.
He just did.
Wow.
Talk about mind games.
Can you imagine the humiliation Oku would face going back to his home country, losing to his own move?
Titus Alexander is trying to tap out the master of the half crab with a half crab, and Oku has nowhere to go. He is feet away from the ropes. He might have no choice but for that embarrassment to ensue here.
Amir needs to be on the other side of the ring cheering Oku on. Give that managerial support.
Well, Oku is so close but so far. Will he make it to the ropes?
Nope.
He does.
Wow. Wow.
And you know Titus Alexander is going to take every 4.999 repeating seconds allotted to him by Scarlett Donovan to keep that hold cinched in.
Going back for it there, but look at that.
Small package.
New champ.
No.
Oh, wow. Could have been it. Titus, I don't know where he's getting the wherewithal. Having the ability to even stand on both his legs right now is impressive.
Repeated forearms to Michael Oku. A kick to the leg, handspring cutter, but nobody.
No!
Huge shining wizard. Did you see the elevation into a lion salt?
Top rope, no less.
Michael Oku into the cover.
No!
No!
At this point, Jordan, you have to wonder, what's Oku got left?
Oku has hit Titus Alexander with so much. But you know that when that West Coast Pro Wrestling Championship is on the line, there's always something else in the toolbox. And here we see it. Desperate times call for desperate measures, peeling away that knee covering.
That just makes it more of a weapon.
One of the hardest bones in the body. And with the slit across the throat, Michael Oku is going to use it to its fullest effect.
At this point, he can't be wasting time. He can't be just motioning to the fans.
But Titus Alexander,
look at this.
Yeah, he collapses. I'm not sure if that was strategic or just based on the exhaustion we've seen so far.
Well, now that's going to change Oku's strategy a little bit here. Now he's got him by the head and the hair area. He's going to set him up again.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. But again,
that
Titus...
was good defense by Alexander there, tucking his head, covering it up, making it harder to hit. And now Oku, I think he's getting a little frustrated here.
I mean, can you blame him? Slaps to the face of Titus Alexander. You see the sweat flying off the face of the franchise.
Off the ropes. Look at the...
But Titus Alexander capitalizing out of nowhere into a cover. No.
Not enough yet. Oku, I think, has got too much momentum here to go down that easily.
And this one has been a clinic between these two, Zane.
We knew this match had the potential to steal the show, and they so far are delivering.
Alexander catches the knee into a torture rack position.
No! The torque on the neck.
Torture rack go to sleep.
Off the ropes, not done yet is Titus. Whoa!
Was going for that sweet-time driver, but Michael Oku reverses it.
Oh, look at it. He's fighting for that half crab, Jordan. He's got it. He's got it locked in. Oh, this is it. You can kiss your title ring goodbye, Titus.
Michael Oku is heading into home of the Killers as West Coast Pro Wrestling Champion.
Might as well make that match right now for the championship. Oku versus Bailey. I'm calling it right now, Jordan.
Look at Titus Alexander with every fiber of his being crawling towards those ropes, crawling towards Amira.
Now, wait a minute.
And in defiance, grabbing at Michael Oku's corner woman.
Now what is Titus doing here? Grabbing Amira?
I'm not sure if this was purposeful to play with the mind of Michael Oku, or if Amira was literally the closest thing he could grab for reprieve.
So far, oh!
A low blow with referee Scarlett's back turn.
Sweet time driver!
And now Titus Alexander.
No, wait a minute!
Yeah, I was going to say retains the championship, but Amira's saying it's not going down this way.
I was going to say Amira's been a really big liability for Oku, but she just may have saved her man.
Scarlett Donovan, none too pleased. Oku lucky that this one doesn't end in a disqualification. And now, Alexander getting a taste of his own medicine with that slap into that poison rana from Oku. Oku is fired up.
Are we seeing the dawn of a new era for West Coast Pro here, Jordan?
I think we are. Frog splash from Michael Oku. New champ. No.
Do what?
But immediately, without a second, Michael Oku transitioning into the deepest half crab we have seen thus far.
That leg has been through so much pain and torture in this matchup, and this could be the final straw. Look at the bending back.
The leg is not meant to bend that way, but Alexander into a backslide reverses it, and Alexander steals the win.
Your winner, and still West Coast Pro Wrestling World Champion, Titus